All right, so Sandra, Paul, y'all have had the steam oven. Tell me what you've cooked in it so far.
Our favorite thing so far has been ribs.
Okay, yep. And what setting are you using for that?
What did we use? Oh gosh, we did the convection steam.
Convection steam. Okay, so you're doing it kind of low temp with steam, but you also have the fan on, so it's getting a little bit of caramelization.
Right.
Okay, and then y'all are finishing it
On the grill.
on the grill. Perfect. So that's one of the settings. Next up is going to be convection. That's no steam at all. I use this oven a lot because it doesn't have to be preheated. So if y'all just want a weeknight meal for 2 people, just go to convection, throw the food in, don't worry about preheating. It doesn't take the time to heat up like this one. It cooks faster. So I find this is like a great, almost like a replacement for a little toaster oven, but much more versatile. And then as we get into some of the other settings like reheat, a lot of folks, this is like the only thing they use it for the first few weeks.
We haven't actually used that yet.
It's awesome. So reheat and auto reheat, they will steam the food first. That'll replenish the moisture that was lost in your fridge. So you have leftovers, put them in the fridge. They start to dry a little bit. This will steam them first, and then automatically it turns off the steam and it starts to crisp it. So if you had like a kind of gourmet example, would be like a pecan crusted redfish from like a seafood place. You put it in the fridge. In fact, most of the time you're throwing it away, so you just can't imagine how you'd reheat it or microwave a piece of fish like that. But you put it on in the steam oven on the reheat setting, it steams the fish, it adds the moisture back, it automatically turns off the steam, and then it crisps the pecans. My favorite setting is going to be slow roast. This is going to be for any cut of red-ish meat, pork as well. So beef, lamb, pork, and veal. No poultry and no seafood. You pick slow roast. If we were doing this one today, we'd go to tenderloin. Select tenderloin. Pick the doneness. You're going to dial in the temperature. So I can pick medium for now. The difference on this versus sous vide is I seared it first. What I like about that is raw meat's easier to sear. So either out on your grill or on the griddle, high heat, quick sear on the outside, have your seasoning and everything on it, put it on a tray. It's going to tell you use rack position 2. So you can see the numbers here. So I know rack position 2. On this setting, I've done rack position 1 on top of 2 and then between 3 and 4. And I've done 12 whole tenderloins to serve 150 plus people. And you do everything you're not supposed to do. I put a whole bunch of tenderloins, they're touching each other. I fill up the cavity. Everything you should never do in this oven, you can do in here on that slow roast setting, and it turns out perfect.
So does it use a temp probe at all?
It does. That's a very good question. This will be a setting we do use the temp probe, but it doesn't matter which meat. Like if I've got one tenderloin that's really big and one that's really small, as long as the probe is all the way in the meat, no metal showing, I'll be fine. So I set the temperature that I want for the internal temp, so say 135 degrees. Then I tell it when do I want to eat. So I might reduce the time. Now the minimum is going to be 2.5 hours. So let's say 2 hours and 34 minutes. At 8:08 p.m., that beef tenderloin will be cooked, it'll be rested, and it'll be ready to serve. And all I had to do was sear it first, take the probe and put it into one piece of meat, set it to say medium rare, medium, and then hit enter. And that's it.
Awesome.
And at 8:08 p.m., it's done, it's rested. I can actually grab the tray with my bare hands because it's the same temperature as the inside of the meat. And if I'm not ready to eat at 8:08, then I can leave it in there for up to an hour and it won't continue to cook. It'll stay warm though. And that's a setting I can tell you that for entertaining, my go-to, my favorite. Doesn't have to be beef tenderloin, it could be a standing rib roast, it could be a pork loin, it could be a leg of lamb. There's so many different things. As long as you can fit the probe thermometer into it, you're good. The steam, the convection steam, the automatic food settings, and the slow roast, plus your reheat to take it all back to life after it's been in the fridge. And with those things as your arsenal, I think you could cook every night in it and love it and do something different.
Are the temperatures for the slow roast the same? Like, in other words, like for medium, would it be 120 degrees?
So it's more like sous vide. So I would look at sous vide temperature recommendations. And the reason, that's a very good question, Paul. The reason is if I were cooking in this oven at like 350 degrees and I set it to like 120 or 125 for medium rare, if I cut into the whole tenderloin, the center would be 125 and it'd be 130 and 140 and 150 and 160. So when I cut it, I've got our juicy red centerpiece and the rest of it's more done. But if I cut it and the doneness is all the same, if I have it down at 120, it's basically going to be almost raw meat. Like it's not even very tender when it's that raw, that cold. So for those, for most meats, I'm going to be doing somewhere between 128 and 140. Those are really the main ones. The rest of it would be things that you might dial in on just the volume level, the noise, the brightness of the screen, things like that.